Welcome back to video number 2. This is our palette cleanser, of course. After everything that went on in video number 1, you know what to do. Let's just jump in and cover it all, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Catherine Middleton, the Princess of Wales. We know that she's having her annual Christmas Carol service at Westminster Abbey in London on December 6th. And it's being reported that she's reached out to the families from that absolutely horrible knife attack at the Taylor Swift themed dance class. And she has invited the families and survivors from the town of Southport to the carol service. I think that's just lovely. And then, of course, Catherine, who just finished chemo, made a visit to Southport in October with William, and they met the emergency services and the families. So that doesn't surprise me. She's so wonderful. All right, moving on. Let's move on to Secret Weapon Sophie now, who went to lunch on November 20th. She is the patron of Gettr UK. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a charity for people living with epidermolysis bullosa. Now, at this event, they're saying they got the opportunity to talk to Sophie about an update on their drug repurposing program, which they say in the article, Sophie is fully supportive of. They also had a speech from their independent advisor where he recognized the potential that the drug repurposing has and how it could change lives for the better. For those of you who don't know what that condition is, it is a rare genetic disease that causes the skin to be very, fragile, and it blisters and tears very easily. And then the wounds are very slow healing because the skin is just so fragile. Sticking with Sophie, Plan International UK has announced that their new patron is going to be Sophie the Duchess of Edinburgh because she is a champion of women's rights and she has witnessed firsthand the impact that conflict and crisis can have on young women and girls. They said they look forward to working with her. I think she's going to do a great job. Moving on. All right, next up, just as an FYI, Prince William will be presenting the Tusk Conservation Awards for 2024, and it will be in London on the 27th of November. All right, moving on. All right, let's move on now. The Bristol Group, along with the Jason Bibby of Search and Rescue Helicopter Rescue 924, are recipients of the 2024 Billy Deacon SAR Memorial Trophy. It was presented by Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence at the Air League's annual reception ceremony at the House of Commons in London on November 19th. And this recognizes outstanding performance in dangerous circumstances during a rescue that occurred in 2023. Next up, on the 22nd of November, articles came out saying that Camila was not going to be attending the Royal Variety performance on doctor's orders because she's still having the lingering post-viral symptoms after her chest infection. So, it's probably best that, she is 77 years old. It's probably best if she doesn't strain herself. So unfortunately, she had to pull out. So, of course, unfortunately, that night, King Charles arrived at the Royal Albert Hall alone. I'm sure he was upset. So after he arrived at the show, apparently there were a lot of people outside waving, for him. And so he waved and said hello and made his way inside. Now, the show was being hosted this year by Amanda Holden, who was channeling her Little Mermaid, they said. Anyway, when he got there, he was presented with a show program and some flowers for the Queen. It was foliage picked by the residents from their Brinsworth house garden. The kids were Iris King Taylor, who's 8, and Louis Cooper, 10. And it was his house that the flowers came from. So, of course, the king made his way upstairs. They sang God Save the King. He looked like he was in good spirits, and he looked like he was feeling pretty well. A lot of people recently had said that he looked very pale and weak and not well. I think he looked lovely. I do love a man in a tux, though. Now, afterwards, he went backstage. And, of course, who did he run into first? Right off the bat, Elton John and his husband, David Furnish. I find that very interesting, especially when you consider how close Elton is supposed to be to Prince Harry. These two, Elton and David, I think their friendship with Harry might be over. Maybe they're trying to make their way back in with the king. Who knows? Anyway, the king went backstage afterwards to meet people. He met magical act Penn Jillette and Teller. There was a ballerina. He met Lorraine Kelly, who made an appearance with her change and check choir. He met Amanda Holden and Alan Carr, who hosted the evening. Now here is Amanda Holden when she first arrived on the carpet in this green confection of a dress. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. Other people that showed were Britain's Got Talent winner Sydney Christmas. She was just looking lovely. Sophie Ellis Bextor. She looked quite chic in the one-shouldered number. American singer and actress Vanessa Williams. She's 61. You would never frickin' know it. Lorraine Kelly, who I told you the king met afterwards, along with Nikki Wheatley, Marty Pello, Lorraine and Helen Adidas. Aren't they all looking wonderful? And singer James Bay, looking quite trendy there. And comedian and actress Ellie Taylor, who looked lovely in her sequin dress. All right, we're going to stick with King Charles for just a second. We know he went to church on Sunday at Sandringham without Queen Camilla again, who's still getting over her chest infection. He was going to St. Mary's Magdalene Church on the Norfolk estate, and he passed a bunch of dog walkers. You know how he feels about animals. He had to stop and, pet them and say hello to them and just, this had to have been hard for him, especially after the recent death of Beth. I'm glad he still loves animals. Moving on, Tom Vishnesky on X put up these lovely pictures of the Duke of Kent and said, "What an honor to enjoy a delightful dinner with Field Marshal HRH Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, first cousin to her late Queen Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, a testament to the enduring friendship and shared history between the Polish and British communities." Next up, we have St. John's Ambulance Service, who invited their patron, the Princess Royal, she's the John's Commander-in-Chief, to their annual Young Achievers reception. She personally greeted and congratulated each young person, recognizing them for their outstanding dedication to providing first aid. All right, you guys know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notification and the thumbs up button if it's working for you today. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, my Amazon wish list, and a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.